We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. A last firm returns for you guys to smash that like button. And here we are with SENS Stock, Muln Automotive Inc. Had an explosive run today, going from the pre-market into the bell. It was halted and there was big news that came out. But why did the stock fall lower? That's what we're going to break down in today's video. While the stock was going lower, the overall market was going higher. And as you see here on the screen, our SPY bot at 9:50 a.m. sent out a bull indicator. And from that moment forward, call options went up 200% plus within hours, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge over the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected to our SPY bot, our QQQ bot, our newly released Tesla bot, and we have other bots on the way so that you can receive the clarity and edge that you deserve within the volatility of the markets. And as I always state, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion and perspective alone. I personally believe volatility is here to stay and will continue. And within that volatility, every single investor should have clarity or an edge over their charts, right? I'm an advocate, especially retail investors should have an edge and clarity over their charts. It doesn't have to be 42 vision, whatever it may be, but find clarity. Now, if you find value in what we share here and you want to join the members using these resources to maximize in either direction, check out the link down below in the description. And we look forward to having you join us. So SENS stock here, full shift from strength, right? Bright green to white with red borders, hitting another dip area and coming right back down to where there was a strong support and where we've rallied the last two times. This is pivotal, and we need to break down what 42 vision is showing in our inflow versus outflow indicator. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. And as you see here popping up on the screen, these are some of the home runs I managed to find this week alone. And while it's not guaranteed to be that way every single time, we strive for opportunities like these every single day. So the home run of the day was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on in the pre-market and receive this edge and clarity over the charts, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors all looking to learn and grow together. So these are the two stocks I mentioned this morning. Both of them gave jumps of 3 to 5%, 5 to 10% plus. And the home run of the day was Pixie here, PIXY. We caught this one in the pre-market under strength here on 42 vision. The inflows were sitting sideways and above the midpoint, continued going higher, continuing strength here on 42 vision. And within minutes, it hit a highest point of 30% plus, guys. If you guys want to know about these stocks early on in the pre-market, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. So here we are with SENS Stock, Muln Automotive Inc. As I stated earlier in the video, doing a complete transition back down from bright green, which is extreme strength, all the way down to the dip area. From the rip area to the dip area, extreme weakness of white with red borders on 42 vision, guys. Now, this is pretty big because it took 3 days to get from these levels in the 60s all the way to the 70s here, almost 80 cents. And in one single day, in just a few hours, it erased all of it, guys. Now we need to know, is it going to try to triple bottom here? Or is this going to try to break through it and retest the 52-week lows or even lower levels, right? Let's talk about why the stock even went higher. That's going to be super important in today's video to break it down and what this could mean. But I'm going to pull up the bull and bear indicators, which you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected to the SPY bot, the QQQ bot, our newly released Tesla bot, and we have other bots on the way so that you can receive the clarity and edge that you deserve within the volatility of the markets to maximize on opportunities. And you can now join the members using these resources in either direction by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation within the volatility to allow us to have that edge and see what's going on. And slots are now open for those interested. Once again, that link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators and getting connected to our inflow versus outflow. So here we are under a bear indicator, but super important. I talked about this in yesterday's video. I was going to watch on the 30-minute if these inflows could finally start to pick up or get closer to the midpoint. It's been red since way back here on August 31st, and we've been on this sideways action. And as we started to come back up, there was no real strength if this did not cross over. Super important to realize, and most importantly, how fast it fell today. As I stated earlier in the video, it took 3 days to make this move, but in 1 day it fell so fast. It's because the inflows were never outweighing the outflows. It didn't have enough pressure to bring this even higher and have a breakout that could hold. And all it took was for outflows to dominate, not just that bear indicator and just the charts pulling downwards, but this type of outflow domination over the chart on the 30-minute. And if we zoom in and we look at the 15-minute, same exact thing. Look at this. Within the volatility, you could see here how it popped up, got that bull indicator. It was above the midpoint, and it went from 67 cents all the way up to 79, quickly started to fall, got that bear indicator there as an extra layer of confirmation, went from the rip area to the dip area within the day, and the outflows got crossed. And at this point where it was trying to level off, it just fell and collapsed even further because the outflows were dominating for most of the day. And this pullback is literally showing us how the outflows have been dominating and how fast it affected the chart, especially now that it's no longer near the midpoint like it was for the last several days since it first crossed back here on August 31st. If not, it went ahead and lost the momentum really fast and affected the whole entire chart, bringing it back down to triple bottom so far. If it can find support down here at the 60s or retest it to break through it, and we may see newer lows or closer to the 52-week low, right? So what made the stock go higher and get halted early on in the morning? Well, it has to do with the news that I shared in the pre-market right before the bell. A lot of investors in the community were asking questions, and I found that news while it was halted, and it had to do with what you see coming up on the screen. And this right here says it all in this article as well, right? This is what came out this morning at 12 p.m. is when they released this information here, and we knew about it before the bell. Muln Automotive takes controlling stake in Bollinger Motors, marking its first EV acquisition. Now, this turned out to be something exciting right up front, but I'm here to share my honest, humble opinion, not financial advice, just my perspective alone. But this total amount, 148 million, this is a total of doubling what their cash on hand is. So some investors will look at this as a risk instead of adding value right now when they just reached the most cash on hand ever in the last several quarters that the CEO actually announced. And now they're going for this acquisition here or partnership or majority ownership over Bollinger Motors, which is double, and they're taking a risk now. That's how they look at it, right? In the short term, hopefully this is something big for the growth story of Muln stock, but these outflows pretty dominate here. And then you also have here Muln Automotive edges higher during strong trading day for EV stocks. Now, if you go through and you look at different EV stocks, even Tesla per se, it had a pretty good day. I mean, you look at the stock here, it was pushing up higher, and it's had a 2-day run, well, almost a 3-day run. But the only difference is Tesla kept going, Muln stock didn't. And now we need to watch carefully these areas, because something that's brought up very interesting enough in this specific article, as you read through it, it talks about how Muln stock is flirting with the possibility of needing to do a reverse split. The longer it stays below $1, right? It's in the 60-cent area, the higher the chances of having to do this, and it could affect the value of the stock and shareholders. So that is high risk right now, something to keep in mind. The stock definitely needs to try to get back above $1 to avoid that. If not, the NASDAQ eventually will reach out and it'll do a letter of intent to let them know that they may have to do a reverse split, or the stock could try to appeal and state, hey, give me an extension. We'll have to see what happens then. This is just all speculation, and based off what this article is stating in between all of this, this is what really stood out to me And this is the big news that came out today, and we announced it early on in the Discord. So let's talk about key levels here. So on the 30-minute, we want these inflows to try to come back up towards the midpoint. Super important. Even if it doesn't cross, at least get back up there, because if it stays down here, the more weight it's going to have over the chart. Now, in the volatility, the 15-minute is trying to get inflows back up here. We want to see it cross back over the midpoint and get those inflows with domination over the chart, because as long as we stay below it, as we cross down here in the middle of the day, once that bear indicator popped up and that crossover happened, the outflows have been dominating and it's had weight over the chart. In the volatility of the 15-minute, we want to see this come back up, cross that midpoint, go higher, and cross back over 68 cents, and then try to go towards 74 cents, 78 cents of the recent highs, especially back up here towards 70 cents, where it was the recent highs. It rejected twice and it broke above it today in the volatility, right? Now, when we zoom out to the 1 hour, now these inflows are still below the midpoint. As you see here, it's green though. That's the one thing that's holding this up from completely collapsing to zero, but we're under a bear indicator today and we were under a bull indicator. So this has been canceled. We need this to cross back up and push above it. Super, super important. When you zoom out, it doesn't look like much, but when you zoom in, we're far away from the midpoint. It needs to cross over it, and we need to get back up towards 70 cents and find support here at the levels of 60 cents. If we break through that, the outflows on the 15-minute may possibly continue to pull down lower, and on the 30-minute continue to hold to the downside as we saw it, and then also the 1 hour switch from green to red and possibly have a big pullback like this, and we need to watch that very carefully. So those are the key levels I'm watching. To the downside, 60 cents, 55 cents, the 52-week low, which is 52 cents. If that gets broken through, we need to talk about other levels. And to the upside, we want to see this break above 70 cents and then try to retest the recent highs above 78, cancel out those bear indicators, and cross back over on the 15-minute over the midpoint, and also those inflows on the 30-minute. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.